in this meeting, right, and things get a little tense. Someone tries to like take credit for your idea, or a decision goes against you. Maybe a coworker even throws you under the bus.
Oh, yeah.
You ever notice how there's always that person, though? The one who just seems to like effortlessly navigate those situations.
Right.
They somehow diffuse the tension and get everyone back on the same page.
They always know what to do.
Exactly. And it can feel like some people are just instinctively good at that,
Yeah, like it's some kind of secret talent.
Right. Well, our deep dive today is all about cracking that code.
Ooh, I like this already.
It all comes down to political intelligence. We're dissecting this episode of the Office Sage podcast, and they make a really compelling argument that it's not about backstabbing or gossip.
Thank goodness.
It's about really mastering those unspoken rules of the workplace.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Oh, it's good stuff. And this episode really dives into how political intelligence, just like any other skill, can actually be learned and honed.
See, that's what I find so fascinating about this. It really challenges that whole idea that some people are just born politically savvy.
Right, like it's in their DNA or something.
Exactly.
But this episode makes a really compelling case for it as a skill set that anyone can develop.
Okay, so how do they break it down?
Well, the Office Sage argues that understanding these like hidden agendas is absolutely crucial for career advancement.
Hidden agendas.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds a little
I know, right? But they're not talking about anything malicious. It's more about being able to anticipate needs and position yourself strategically.
Okay, I'm listening.
So they gave this example. Imagine you're in a meeting, right? And you notice a colleague kind of subtly redirecting the conversation toward a pet project of a senior leader.
Okay, yeah, I think that happened.
Right. They're not being obvious about it, but if you're paying attention, you pick up on it.
Subtle but effective.
Exactly. And that's what they call reading the room. It's about being perceptive enough to follow not just the surface level conversation,
Right.
but to kind of pick up on those subtle cues, those little things that reveal the true motivations behind people's actions.
So it's like that extra layer of understanding.
Yes.
That lets you see the chessboard, not just the pieces on it.
That's a great way to put it. And this ties into another key point the episode emphasizes. Self-awareness.
Oh, that's huge.
Right, because you can't decipher other people's agendas if you don't even understand your own.
Exactly. You have to be able to recognize your own biases and assumptions.
Absolutely. Self-awareness in this context means being really attuned to your own strengths, weaknesses, and those blind spots we all have.
Oh, for sure.
Because without that foundation, it's easy to misinterpret situations, react in ways that don't actually serve you.
You get caught up in the moment.
Yes. And the Office Sage highlights this really common pitfall. Taking constructive criticism personally.
Yeah.
When you lack self-awareness, it's so easy to become defensive.
Right. Like it's a personal attack.
Exactly. And that can really derail your progress and even damage your reputation in the long run.
It's so true. It's tough, but important to remember.
And, sometimes it's hard not to take it personally, especially in the heat of the moment.
Oh, absolutely. It's like that instant emotional reaction.
Yes. And the Office Sage actually takes this idea a step further.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They suggest that sometimes the most politically intelligent move you can make isn't about, like, mastering some specific tactic.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing when a situation is just straight up toxic.
Oh, wow.
And knowing when to walk away.
Interesting. So it's not just about playing the game.
Right.
It's about knowing when the game's rigged.
Exactly. Which takes us to the million-dollar question.
Let's hear it.
How do we actually develop this whole political intelligence thing?
Yeah. Give us the secrets.
Right. Well, the Office Sage, they do a good job of giving some really practical, actionable steps.
Okay, good, because I need those.
They emphasize the importance of observation, becoming like a student of your workplace. Yeah, like who are the key influencers? Those people whose opinions just seem to carry more weight.
Oh, yeah. You always know who those are.
Right, and what are the unspoken norms? The communication style.
The unwritten rules.
Exactly. It's like you're becoming this office anthropologist.
I like that.
Right, observing those power dynamics and figuring out how to navigate them effectively.
So it's not enough to just clock in and do your work.
Yeah.
You really have to be paying attention to the whole ecosystem.
Exactly. And beyond just observing, it's about analyzing.
Okay.
The Office Sage suggests that politically intelligent people, they excel at identifying those hidden agendas.
Okay, so we're back to the hidden agendas.
They can listen to a proposal, right?
Right.
And understand not just the words being spoken, but the motivations behind them.
Why behind the what?
Yes. And when you can do that, you're not just reacting to situations anymore, you're anticipating them.
You're one step ahead.
Exactly. And the podcast gave this really great example. Let's say your team's pitching a new project.
Okay.
Someone with strong political intelligence might notice that a key decision maker seems particularly interested in one specific aspect.
Oh, interesting.
Right. That observation could lead them to subtly emphasize that aspect in their own contributions.
Oh, I see.
Right. So they're aligning themselves with that decision maker's priorities.
That's clever. So it's like they're using their understanding of the political landscape
Yes.
to kind of gently steer the conversation in a direction that benefits everyone.
Exactly. It's about being strategic but not manipulative.
Right, because there's a fine line there.
Absolutely. And the episode really stresses that political intelligence should be used ethically
Of course.
to advocate for yourself and your ideas in a way that ultimately benefits the entire team.
It's a win-win.
It's not about climbing that ladder and stepping on people to get there.
Right, exactly.
It's more, like you said, creating those win-win situations.
Yeah, and what I really appreciate about this episode is that it kind of demystifies this whole thing about political intelligence.
It makes it feel attainable.
Yes. Like anyone can cultivate these skills.
It's like they're saying you don't have to be a victim of office politics.
Right, you can be in the driver's seat.
Exactly. So what I'm taking away from this is that the office sage is basically handing us this toolkit.
I like that analogy.
And one of the most important tools is that ability to respond calmly and effectively under pressure. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Right, like how many times have we all kind of lost our cool and then regretted it later?
More times than I can count.
Right. But the office sage makes a good point that politically intelligent people, they don't shy away from conflict.
Yeah.
They just approach it differently.
They stay cool, they keep their composure,
Yes. And they don't meet aggression with aggression.
which rarely ends well.
Never.
Hmm.
So it's about choosing your battles and then like approaching those battles with a clear head.
And a plan.
Yes. A strategy.
Mm-hmm.
They actually gave this really illustrative example of a manager who was publicly criticized by a higher up.
Ooh, that's rough.
I know, right? During a team meeting, no less.
Coach.
But instead of getting defensive or trying to deflect the blame, this manager just took it in stride.
Acknowledged the feedback, took responsibility, and then outlined a clear plan to address the issue.
Wow, that's impressive.
Right. And, that calm, measured response probably spoke volumes about their judgment and their professionalism.
Oh, absolutely. They turned a potentially disastrous situation into an opportunity to shine.
Exactly. And that's the power of political intelligence right there.
It really is. It's about turning challenges into opportunities.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. I feel like we've just scratched the surface, though.
We really have. There's so much to unpack with this topic.
Right. So if someone's listening and they want to kind of really sharpen their political intelligence, what would you suggest?
Well, first of all, I would say definitely listen to the full Office Sage episode.
Yes.
They go into so much more detail about specific tactics and techniques.
It's a gold mine of information.
It really is.
Yeah.
But as you're listening, think about this. What does the political landscape look like in your specific workplace?
Because it's one thing to understand it in theory, right?
Right.
But it's another to actually apply it to your own unique circumstances.
Exactly. So think about those unwritten rules we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the influencers? What are those communication styles that seem to really resonate? Once you understand how things work in your world, you can start using this knowledge to your advantage.
So true. This has been a real eye-opener for me. It's not about being manipulative. It's about being smart.
Strategic.
Yes. Thanks so much for diving into this with me.
It was my pleasure. This is a good one.
And for our listeners, be sure to check out that full Office Sage episode for even more insights. Until next time, happy navigating.